Ahora sí. Oh yes, welcome to How to Fursuit all over the world. I am Leo the Fox, also known as the Traveler Fox or El Zorrito Viajero in Latin America. This is my panel. So, first of all, I want to... What? Oh. Of course. Well. Anyways, we have keys. So, first of all, I wanted to dedicate this panel to those who have left us, and I met all our adventures, some humans and all the furries, and to all of them who have been on my side and in my adventures, I will dedicate this panel. So, where to Fursuit? That is the... Yes, just keep us... Yes. Type of Fursuits, sorry. Type of Fursuits to use. Well, there are many types of Fursuits, like the full plantar grade, full digitigrade, the quad suit, full partial, mini partial, the one I'm using right now, a plantar grade half suit, digitigrade half suit, and the upper half suit. The only one that we will not be looking into on this panel is going to be the quad suit, mostly because I never used one myself, and I don't know anyone who has actually used it one. So they are not very common anyway, so you probably won't be going around the street with it, so it's a bit of a... ¿Cómo decimos algo de nicho en inglés? It's a niche thing to do. So, now yes, where to Fursuit? At home is the first obvious place. It's a home. Pretty much do whatever you want, but you may not be allowed on the couch because usually pets are not allowed in the couch because bit of hair and all those things, and never scratch a pillow. Otherwise, you get the newspaper. So yes, at home pretty much you can change it to life, go around, take pictures. I usually do a lot of photo sessions when I'm at home, like the Foxtober, for example. Start to make backgrounds and scenery for pictures, and probably anyone that uses TikTok sees a lot of videos of Fursuit dancing at home and such, so possibilities are endless, or as endless as your apartment may be. Now, Furmeets. Well, anyone here doesn't know what a Furmeet is? Anyone here does know what a Furmeet is? Those two are not raising their hands and equally concerned, but okay. But Furmeets are these lovely reunions we have around cities, places, and parks and such, where we meet as a group of furries. Here we have a few examples from Chile, the UK, Argentina, and Uruguay. Pretty much we go to a public space, we meet around, sometimes we go to a bowling or to a bar or something. We around and have fun together. We confuse any normal person, we confuse any person that is around us and just wander around. Kind of Fursuit recommended to use on these cases. I usually go with my mini partial, or just partial with fit, which I didn't put here because apparently too big for my suitcase. But a full suit or a half suit is also pretty okay. I also tend to use a dificulty suit as well, half suit, which is also a very good option. The only thing on this makes is be aware that we are kind of surrounded by a lot of normal people, so we will be a bit of the center of attention here. People will come to us and say like, hey, what are you doing? What are you supposed to do? Usually totally lost on what are we doing, thinking like some kind of children's act or something, some kind of entertainment. I'm not sure if it's a thing here in the UK. In Argentina we have the happiness train, which is pretty much a train full of cartoon characters dressed up for children, so they also think we are bad, but we know we are not. I mean, if you are you do you. But usually we don't. Here, pretty much, you have the same preventions as anyone in the street, so stick with your group, try not to get run over when you cross the street, and all the normal stuff. You have to go through it, and that's that. Any questions so far? No. Oh, careful with the pictures that you get taken during Furmeets, because if they are too good, you may end up in places. Well, anime, cosplay, and video game conventions. This is also a type of event that you may be familiar with if you're familiar with any kind of genre. On any anime, video game, or cosplay convention, there's always going to be at least one furry. It's like a rule. There has to be one, otherwise the event gets cancelled. We're going to go there because, well, when there's lack of any other furry event, this is a great mixed event to like pop in. The only thing is that it's also usually super crowded, so you have to like be careful with your ears, your tail, your horns, or whatever wing thing you may have. But overall, it's a nice place to be. Just, careful with attackers. They like to pull on your ears and your tail. And also there's usually many kids on this event, so also as well, some may go, hee! And some others may just be like, you furry. So mostly that. Also, the fun thing is that these events usually you can pop into the cosplay. How do you say this in English? Sorry. You can pop into the cosplay competitions. Some furries win, some others don't. Up to you if you want to show into that. Some think it's unfair to the other cosplayers. Some don't. Depends. Oh, theme cafés. This is another place where you can go. The theme cafés, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is a thing in the UK. This is one of the Japan exclusive things I will be talking about. Anyone here is familiar with a Kigu doll is? Yep. Kigu mask? Oh. Kigu in general. There's a few Kigu furries here. A few know. So, on this context, very much it's like a mask. It's like the same base of a fursuit, like a full head mask. But it's like of a more hard material, very much makes you look like kind of an anime doll thing. And describing me as well as they will probably describe us. Well, in Japan, there's a thing where they have these theme cafes. Like this one, for example, was called former marionette party, and it's called Married Amis. Pretty much, it's like an old school cozy cafe made like a early 20th century toy store. So they're like plush and doll friendly. They're very welcome to plushies, like us. Although they're on those places also you kind of need a reservation, so they expect that you will come like this. On this other place that was called Monster Party, from the same people actually, it's more of a monster theme, 1950s US diner style. They don't book you only a reservation for that kind of place, but they're kind of confused when you work as a furry. I was like, hey, I came for the monsters. And they have no clue of how I pop there, especially Japanese, English, and Spanish don't exactly get along together. But we work well, at least once they like understand what you're doing, or if you look, it's a really nice place to go. I don't know if it exists in England, but if there is, go there, you will have fun. And if it doesn't, and you ever go to Japan, go there as well. They will probably even say like, hey, did he send you? Did the fox send you? Yes, I sent you. Say my name, you will get a good word there. So, cities in general. So, what's a city? I have no clue because I forgot to read the description on Wikipedia. But a city is some kind of thing where there's people, buildings, and things, and where you usually live, except you live in the countryside and you don't live in a city. Or you live in a village, which is technically a city, but it's not a city. Yep, you get my idea. So cities, these big places where there's a lot of people. There's many different cities around the world, many different places where cities are, and well, each city is kind of different. There are similarities among them, but it's also different on which place the city. Like it's not the same. Let's say Fursuiting in London or Buenos Aires, Fursuiting in Furtannia or in Australia, which is called the city of the end of the world. So there are more, as I was saying, cities like, for example, London, Buenos Aires, or Santiago de Chile here are more crowded cities, so they have more people, more cars, so you need to be a bit more careful when you go around and cross the street. There's more crowds of people. Then you have these other more peaceful cities where there's like, you probably will be the only thing that has ever happened on that place. Like, I know, like in Fort Augustus, okay, yes, they have Nessie and all, but they haven't seen him. They haven't seen Nessie in a while. So you suddenly appear there as a plush animal. They were like, "Oh, are you here for the new monster position?" I tried to apply, but apparently you need to be a British citizen or something. My bad. Can be better. I think I have a microphone anywhere but in my mouth. So, series of course, there's a few differences, and I have a few like false beliefs about fursuiting in the city. I had many people told me like, hey, you can quite fursuit in certain parts of some cities. Like, if you go to Camden Town in London, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. It's dangerous. You have to go with a handler. You cannot go alone. Don't use your fursuit. You're gonna die. And like, I think I didn't die. I know that got right. You can see me still. I'll be honest. Really, if you go to a place where there's like, it's either touristic or more or less centric, so there's like enough people, so no one is like going to come to you. It's weird that something actually happens. The worst I had is a drunken man come to me like, oh, and I was like, nope, right, go away. And the guy was like, okay, the bus speaks, bye. It was too much for him apparently. Yes, it is like relatively like safe, but don't go at night to like go to a weird alley, except you really want to push your bike, but you can go around, let's say, Capital Market, the center of Bristol, here, well, kind of here in Birmingham, not quite in Birmingham, but you know what I mean. Oh, well, yes, the crazy sounds of London, center of all the capital cities, they will be okay. In fact, we have a few more examples on this slide, I think. I do. Well, here you have this big clock from some Big Ben guy or something. I know it. I think this is somewhere in Vegas.
That's Blackpool.
Oh, that's Blackpool, right. Some of Washington there. This city got garages, only the Spanish speakers will understand why I was there. The rest of you, use the Urban Dictionary, you will get it right. It's like in France, but in Spanish it's more funny. Here is Montevideo. So, have London, Buenos Aires, Paris, Montevideo, Tokyo, and garages in Paris. Sorry, in Paris, not in France. So, the reference there, for example, Montevideo is a very peaceful city. To give you an idea, in my city, Buenos Aires, there's more population than in the whole of the country where this city is. So every time I go there on Fursuit at home or go on a Furmeet, people is like, ooh, something happens. And it's so cool. Like, I never had an issue there. The worst I had was someone singing Fursuit and go like, you need Jesus. Literally gave me a flyer of a church. And I was like, okay. And I had to put a sandwich. Just about it here, just for the lows. I couldn't find the picture. Also, the city girl said there was literally nothing. There's no reason to go there unless you have a dentist appointment. So there was the same situation. People were like, but it's France. So people don't really care what you're doing. So they're like, oh, I thought that. You just ask for directions. They say this later. You go on. Tokyo is one weird place to be on. Between the jet lag and the long 12-hour trip, Like you're right there, you suddenly, you suddenly feel like you're inside either of a lo-fi video or one of these reels you see on Instagram, and you're like, okay, I'm in the land of anime and kitsunes and all. I'm supposed to be either a girl here or one more of the bunch. You neither. For any adult person in Japan, you're transparent like glass. They won't look at you, they won't stop for you. Like, well, I just like a person, yes, excuse me, blah, 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 blah. Nothing else. They won't like be like, oh, where's a plushy animal like it may happen here in, let's say, the West. I'm from more the West, so it's a bit absurd for me to say it here, but you get the idea. Children will stop, of course, yeah, they're like, oh. And then you have tourists. The tourists, all of them will start be like, Fox, Plushie, I know that, that's a furry. But in Tokyo, even Yakihabara itself, you will say, hey, it's the anime place. Unless you're a girl or boy, or anything in between or around, dressed as an anime schoolgirl or maid, you're not important for any adult person. And I guess, cultural things, they're not effective up for furries, unless you're a Pokemon. I haven't tried that. If any of you had a Pokemon Fursuit and go to Tokyo, let me know if you get attention or a Pokeball. I'm actually interested for that next year's part. Buenos Aires, my lovely city, I would say that either in Buenos Aires, London has been not that much different. I probably got more comments in Buenos Aires because we have kind of a culture of yelling at literally anything. I know you have here that culture in the UK, but we have, trust me, we have it more. We yell and we insult each other quite more. We literally say, I'm super high. But it's like normal, I get yelled at just because I have long hair as a person, so as a furry is not that different. You should yell back and they will be so confused because people usually think that you are kids entertainment, they don't expect you to like give back what they give you. So it's a funny shenanigan. In London, what I would say is that it's quite safe to fursuit around than what people here in Britain believe. Just keep that in mind. You can go with other group and it's going to be totally safe. I had literally no issue in London aside from drunken men. I had more issues when you were trying to go into like a museum or some private place, but for the most, go be happy. Like I literally in the event with all my Argentinian shirts and stuff, and nobody cared. Like I did try to see if anyone will say, hey, nobody did it. I do give you points to London for like not giving a fuck, so thank you. Well, Paris is a curious city. You see the news, and you see it's either the city of law or this city where there's farmers bringing piles of food in front of a government house. There's things on fire and such, and people was like, don't push it in Paris, it's going to be dangerous. And like, do you know what happens on this street corner on this picture? Every time there's a football match? Anyone has a clue? Not you. You want to cheat because you probably know. Anyone knows what happens on the street corner in Buenos Aires every time there's a football match?
A light?
What?
A light?
A what?
A light.
Protest.
Protest.
You're close, but not quite. Try again.
A bus being set on fire?
What?
A bus being set on fire?
None of us, but you're really close. There's a McDonald's on the street corner that gets trashed and set on fire every time you have a football match or any kind of manifestation.
So what gets set on fire?
The McDonald's.
A McDonald's.
So when people told me that be careful because in Paris they light up tires, I was like, hey, this happened on my way to my city. I'm not sure what you're wanting, bro. Really, again, it's mostly tourists or anyone that like actually comes from a different culture that like is more of caring on what's around them. Will pay attention. Nothing against the French, sorry if that sounds bad. It's just a really nice place, Paris. I do like the city, but it's interesting how it's usually people that has a more different cultural background than what you expect of the English Parisian, I guess. Will pay attention on what you're actually doing. The city on itself is pretty safe. Like, the difference for me between Paris and London is that you have more that sensation that if you're fursuiting around, you have to be a bit more careful in Paris. I give the sensation that you have to be a bit more careful in Paris than in London. Most of like, hey, if I'm recording, be careful that I don't get my phone move. That happens in London as well, but I guess Paris looks more like Buenos Aires architecturally, so it gives me the homey feel. So, also, very important things for the cities. We're in Britain. You all know that here you drive on the, let's say for you, the right side of the road, even if it's not the right. Which side do you drive here? So, I know it's the other side from mine, but the other. Okay, yes. The right one. Yes, you are on the right side, on the rest of the world, or most of the rest of the world, on the left. So, be very careful if you go fursuiting to the mainland. To not go when you cross the street. Be careful with that as well, please, if you're as a human, but be very careful in Fursuit because we have kind of a limited vision. So think of this. If I stand here, I barely see you, I don't see you, I see you, and I see you, but I don't see the camera, and I don't see whatever is behind. So, vision is limited. Be very careful with that. But if you're from any other country that drives on the other side of the street, well, be careful when you come here. Very much. Any questions so far? No? Come on, ask me something. I have to fill up the time. No, not at all. Nothing about city and Kuwait in particular. Yes?
What's your favorite city to suit in?
My favorite city to suit? That's a tricky question. It may not sound very well, but my favorite city is my own, to be honest. As the song goes in Spanish, mi Buenos Aires querido, my beloved Buenos Aires. Oh, but it's because in my city. My second favorite city is, of course, London, because I'm a British fan. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. So those are my two favorites. First Buenos Aires, second London. I would say third Montevideo. Any other questions? Any squeaks? No? No, we proceed then. Oh, by the way, in Fursuit, if I remember forgot, Fursuit types for cities. I usually prefer mini partials because easier to put on and off. You can go with 90-degree decks, just make sure it's not a 30 degrees day like I have done before. And for the rest, yes, you can use any Fursuit, just mind that in the street you may get it pretty dirty if you go with a Fursuit, especially if you have a lot of white like I do. This gets very a lot, you have to watch your Fursuit often. Museums. This is a fun one. First of all, yes, this is certainly a British museum. Yes, I have Fursuited a British museum. This is the most extreme example I have. So, you have many types of museums around the world, and around the cities, and around the... So, the British Museum is like the best example of a classic museum, and probably the highest security one, where everything is either behind a glass or a rope, and you can't touch anything. Or these types of museums, usually you cannot walk inside with your Fursuit, especially not in the British one, because you have to like go for security and how do you call it? A metal scanner, and an X-ray scanner. Something similar to the entrance to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which, by the way, is a place where you cannot Fursuit around because they make you leave your Fursuit in the entrance. So don't do that. Trust me, it's not worth leaving a Fursuit for a €5 entrance. Then you have these interactive-ish, semi-interactive museums, like Le Musée de l'Air et l'Espace de la Bourchette in France, which is the Museum of the Air and Space in La Bourchette, France, which has a part that is the classical museum, ropes and glasses to prevent you from touching things. And then you have all parts where they have like it's an old airport, so you have hangars outside areas where you can actually go into planes, like you can go into a Concorde or a World War II plane and such. A difference with the British is on the museum, aside from being able to like walk into the thing, is that on the British you can only put your head for a quick picture and then you have to remove it, otherwise you will get in trouble, or you will walk into something or someone and you will get into a lot of trouble. The last case haven't done that. but I can see it happening very easy. Especially if you go in full suit. Probably in the British Museum, don't try to go in full suit, go just with your head on tail. On the Museo de la Espèce, I tried with a partial, but I'm pretty sure you can go in full suit and it will actually be quite alright. The only thing you cannot do in that museum is to use a point with the cameras. You know. Anything else, go for it. Just do your best, please. I have one moment. Yes. Well, for this museum, as you can go to the airplanes and such, I will say that for the most, try to limit what kind of things you do in those kind of museums on the sense of use your criteria. Like for example, I went to the Concorde planes and all the modern airline planes, went to the rockets, but when you go into, let's say, the World War II section, don't fursuit there, it's a bit tasteless, you can say. I know there's a lot of tourists into military stuff and such, but it's a bit tasteless to go into, let's say, playing for those people I cannot, from those people that took over Shemali, they cannot, and other parts of Europe, but I cannot mention all the ones that would get the stream taken down, but you all know what I mean. Then you have these kind of interactive art installations, like TeamLab Planets in Tokyo, Japan. This one will give it a separate eye on the Tokyo updates because it has a lot to it. This other, for example, presented by my colleague Madeline Foxley from Uruguay. It's another actually a museum, the Pluna Museum that is inside an airport. Actually, it's from an old Uruguayan airline that is in Carrasco, Montevideo. Carrasco, Uruguay. Montevideo, Carrasco, different places. Sorry. There, it's weird because it's a museum instead of an airport, so it's kind of a rules of an airport. You cannot walk inside in Fursuit, but it's also a very underused airport, so that's why it has a museum actually. So you can you could walk in without saying anything and just go through the museum. Usually try to remove your head, walk in, say hey, I'm doing, and just go for it. And take some pictures. So try to not shun to get to catch the planes. Like there's a video of her trying that, don't try that please. And then you have this that is the Informatic Museum of Argentina. It's a almost fully interactive museum where you can try all the equipment of the collection and such. In that kind of places, there are many furries on the staff actually. Furries and computers, who have thought of that? On this kind of places, it's a bit of a small space though, so you have to be very careful even if you're choosing a partial with a tail. The biggest problem on any museum and most places is if you go with a digital suit and big paws, because if you change that and you tail, you're super likely to hit something. So be mindful of the space you're going at. Like on the Museo de la in a space, go with a host, go with the ship with wings if you wish. It's all going to be alright. On the Informatics Museum of Argentina, try to, at least if you go with a full suit, go with a anti-red one, because big legs, small corridors, not the best combination. On the Pluna Museum, I guess you could use it in Fursuit as long as you're not actually taking a plane after visiting it. Up to you if you ever go to Uruguay. Just keep in mind that there's no direct flights from the UK to there. You have to stop in Spain for like 8 hours. Yes, I know my language. And the one, TeamLab Planets Tokyo. I know many people actually want to hear the Japan part because all the rest you know because in Europe. So, well, we have here more pictures of museums actually. Well, remember if you go to a place where you can touch the planes, book the snoot. Very important. Bring always your plushie computers to the computer museum because it looks cute. That's the Parthenon, the one in the British for reasons. That's the fourth dimension. Don't ask me why the picture is in the fourth dimension is here and how I got there, but I guess it happened. Oh, that's a rocket from the Uruguayan Space Agency, even if it says it from Europe. Trust me, it's from Uruguay. I traced one more museum that I actually forgot to talk about. This is in the TFO Museum in London. I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with it. If you're a part of the whale foods community of the UK, you will surely know that one. It's kind of a big thing. It's a really lovely museum, I have to say. I have been a few times there. But it's weird to fursuit around there because half of the staff know what a furry is, or the half doesn't. So the half that does, they're like, oh yes, go for it, people, do whatever you want. The staff that doesn't know what a furry is will not like it a lot. So try to find the people that know what a furry is for that. Funny enough, the thing that annoyed them the most was recording there. You had to like call marketing to record it to the scene. That was surprising, but it made sense considering it was the same as the Transport for London thing. So yeah, so far the biggest problems I had in museums was for recording or having a selfie stick or a tripod rather than being a photo, which is curious. So if you go to a TeamLab museum, just go use just a hair or just a Porsche or a mini Porsche in case like someone comes, just go boop, remove it, nothing happening here, and proceed. So I think now we have TeamLab Planet, and we do. So this is a very curious place. First of all, does anyone here know what TeamLab Planet is from before I presented it here? No. Okay. This is. I'm going to skip the question if you actually have the actual experience because you probably shouldn't answer that. But this museum it gives you the feel as if you were high but not being high. It's now an interactive art installation full of games made with lights, projections, audio recordings played from sound speakers, and with actual water and projections in water, which is pretty tricky, I have to say. Now, this museum is a really interesting place, and I will show some videos to give you the examples as for why this is a lovely place to visit if you go to Japan, but the worst place to I have ever fursuited around. I love the museum. I have all my love for these people to have actually allowed me there, even if they were a bit concerned about it, because I went to Furcon and they were like, you cannot do that. They asked the superiors and were like, okay, if you're actually making a video for us, you can go in, but you can only use your head, you cannot use a selfie stick, you cannot use your tail, you can use your feet out. And I found that really quick because as soon as you go in, you have to step this a slide, a hallway going up, with only dim lights on the sides, as if you were in the corridor of a cinema or a plane, with running water going down the floor. So imagine doing that in Fursuit. It was scary, stressful, but lovely. So doing it as a human is going really lovely, but for example, this first part there was a room full of lights, what I call the fourth dimension. A room full of lights and some mirrors and things may get you a bit it's a bit tricky, so it may get you a bit busy if you're not used to that as a normal person, but it's going to be okay. Then this is a room with a projector that goes like like a cupola,
Dome?
like a dome.
Yeah.
Thank you to my translators here. It's a projector in a dome, so that's pretty fine to do. All the light effects are fine. This is some plants that literally move like this, so you can go and force it in that, but you have to crouch, otherwise you're going to hit with your ears all the fans, and if you break it, they charge you for them, so don't break it, please. And well, I think we require the videos for the context here, so yeah. Well, that is important. Please don't know the exhibitions. I didn't make to change the slide yet, but if you go to a museum, don't know the exhibitions. Actually, that picture somebody yelled at me, don't eat it, because I actually imploded it, if you're not aware. But I actually wanted to show another thing. But there is a custom. Excuse me, I don't see a lot of the screen with the Fursuit on. Give it a moment. Hello. No?
The joys of technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's funny because I work on IT, so even when I'm in holiday, I'm not free from this. Does any of you wish to play? I guess not. You have the assets here. Well, there we go. What?
I always use a wired mouse. I don't like Bluetooth mouse.
And neither do I, but here we are. But I forgot my mouse, and this is the first thing I found in Poland. I don't even know what this video is. Okay, the thing is, this video actually shows the thing that this place is not exactly Fursuit friendly, but they're not opening. So we're going to try something if you allow me.
Might work.
What?
Try right clicking on it and going.
I was going to check if it was DLC being funny and just close the process a bit. Let's see. It doesn't say. Bear with me for a moment, sorry. There we go. Do you want to open it with DLC? No, you open it with Microsoft Word, please. And of course, it's not. This is the first hallway that you have to walk through. Well, do that in Fursuit. How would you feel? It's dark, there's water, you're barefoot, and there's only that light. At the end of the hallway, there's an actual cascade where you're supposed to stop. Some people actually walk into the cascade by mistake. So, at least it was the person in front of me, so I realized I had to stop. Oh, well, yes, good. Now we now we can play the other videos to give you other examples. Yes, it's DLC, thank you. Where's the DLC? Well, this is the video. It looks dark for the most because it's dark. That you're seeing there is water. This much water in that room with white paint, so you don't even see the floor. So and this is a dark room surrounded by mirrors, with the projector put in color edge. And me there in the middle with Fursuit like, what do? I don't want to fall. If I fall here, I drown. Like, it's this much water. You're not going to drown, but like, if you fall here in Fursuit, your day and your suit are ruined. The problem is that there are a few areas where it's like nicer to go Oops, don't throw it past me, thank you. Let's do the presentation in the back. Yeah, we're going to skip the other 45 videos. So there's a few areas like this one, and that one, that they are very nice to be in Fursuit. They actually don't allow selfie sticks here to keep the Instagrammers away and the TikTok heads. But the problem is that you have to go through all of these dark hallways every time. So you want to go in Fursuit, you probably won't be allowed. If you manage to get it, you may be in a bit of danger. The most stressful place I've ever been in Fursuit. Well, Fursuit, please go. Like, I actually recommend the place if you go with a person, please. Go, visit it. I don't. This is not sponsored, but it's actually one of my known Fursuit travel recommendations. And remember to not numb the things. In TeamLab Planets, there's nothing to actually numb except the people. Don't numb the people, please. And what else we have? Hello. Oh, well, various transport. How do you get to places? So, there's various transport, there's different places. Each city has its own transport or mobility. Each transport is different to travel on, and Fursuit is better or worse depending either the transport or the hours. How I've been in a Fursuit on a metro, let's say, or an underground, like here, or a subterranean, or a metropolitan. You raise your hand just so
I've been in trains.
Sorry?
I've been in full Fursuit on trains.
So you know how that is like.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest stress when going into a train or a metro in Fursuit is that, first of all, if the train is empty, you look at this pretty fabric seats that were pretty like 50 years ago, and now they're all dark. And they're like, I'm not sure if I want to sit here with my Fursuit. That's not going to be white anymore. Then the thing is that it depends. If you go on a weekend, it may be okay, but if you go on a weekday, it's going to get crowded. You probably know how I can get when it's peak hours. Like, don't go on, like, I'm not sure why you will be included on 8 in the morning, but in a train, but if you do, it's going to be crowded, and you're going to be there in your Fursuit, hanging from a rail, melting, literally. Well, it's going to be like, you know how it's to be in a crowded train. It's going to be tricky, like, going to be like, with all this stuffing and the foam and everything getting entangled with people's bags. So if you do it, try to do it on a weekend outside peak hours. Also, the funny thing is that, to be honest, I don't remember if it happened on Buenos Aires or in Chile, which reference, this is the Ferries metro, and this is the one from Chile. And once I got into Fursuit, like in full suits, into the metro, and there's this policewoman that goes, "Come here," and like, "Oops." This is one that well, and when I go to the policewoman, she's like, "Wait for me to get off the train before you do your act." Like she thought I was a street performer, which is something that actually happens quite a lot. That people believe you're a street performer if they only knew how much it costs to make one of those. But that was like the biggest problem I ever had. I ever had on my train. Then there's a few shenanigans that have happened on trains. Like if you like something that is like very normal to do in Fursuit, it's like that's normal. Like that should do your normal shenanigans, but as in case of folks or whatever animal you are, you some kind of horse, you're some kind of long-haired human, and you pink. So whatever you're supposed to be. The thing is that doing that sometimes scares people because they don't expect the 2-meter fox to show this down there. The place where I didn't expect it to have the worst scary reaction was in Japan, actually. I go into one of the Japanese metros, which well, actually here, Akihabara, where you should expect that everyone is used to people being dressed up. There was this guy sitting with a laptop, like working with these other 2 ladies working with him, and I was just walking through it, like, going to level 5. And the lady literally just jumped off his seat, like almost dropped the laptop on the head. Like one of them started to catch it, and then some Japanese hyperventilated yell that I didn't understood. I was like, "Oh boy, sorry." I was just apologizing in English. That was the only way I knew may understand. But like, I didn't do anything. It's just like, and again, yes, so that may happen. It has happened actually to me too. When all the time in Buenos Aires, when I went to get a ticket, I had to like recharge my color card, and the girl on the window just jumped away. But that wasn't actually into the metro, so technically not in the metro. But at least she let me pass for free through the turnstile. So at least don't do that in purpose, please. Don't scare people to travel for free. Or if you do, don't tell me. Because I don't support that. Unless it's just dragging really. Well, then you have the buses. The buses is another interesting thing. At least my experience in buses is mostly from South America, but it's very common to have these sellers that just go with a box of stuff into the bus and sell stuff. I'm not sure if that's a thing here. I haven't traveled a lot in bus in the UK. I usually just walk or take the metro. Sorry, the underground, or the train, or whatever, choo-choo. The thing there is that usually they think as well that you're some kind of performer, so you kind of have to ask the driver, "Hey, may I get in with this? I'm not going to charge for more." You have to clarify that sometimes. Same as the metro, be careful to not get into a crowded bus because people would not be very happy to have the gigantic stuffed animal stuck with them for the next 45 stops. Just 45. That is why it is like going from Buenos Aires to work outside the city. And then here we have trains. This is a fun one because this picture was taken at like at midnight. This is actually me at midnight in a train station in Fursuit. Context of that is that we went to a full meet outside my city. The train got cancelled, so we were waiting for the last train. Usually, I wouldn't do this alone in a train station in the middle of the provinces of Buenos Aires at night, because that is not exactly safe. But here we've got like the full platform, both sides, full with furries. So let's say that if you want to fight one, you have to take us all. And that was relatively safe. Well, this is the Paris Metro, which is again one of the places were the most uneventful. Like I swear to Jesus Fox, the normal people in the train were worried about me. I was asking, hey, I'm a fox. I'm recording my video. I finished. Look. And then this guy dressed as a pink cowboy walks in. Yes, that actually happened. I don't have a picture salary because I have just finished. But that happened. So, and sometimes you're not the most real person in the train. What else do we have? Oh, Furcon. This is a funny one. Well, first of all, if you don't know what a Furcon is, I want to congratulate you all for being in a new level of lost. Are you aware what a Furcon is, right? Please answer. You are, right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome to Confuzzled for those who didn't answer. This is a Furcon. So we'll probably know here what the Furcon is though these are these conventions we make every now once a year with each running. There's a few conventions around the world. Here's some of the ones I've been to, like Confuzzled, Argentina for Fiesta, Furry Night, just for the weekend, rest in peace, and a few others. I don't, the few others are exactly spot which one is which here. So conventions are these safe places we have where we do furry things. We just dress up as furs or go in cosplay or use a chair to just dress as a maid and be happy with whatever you want, because here, who are we to judge? Let's be honest. That's why we come here, to alone all your shenanigans in a weekend. Be happy and then just go back to work like a normal person, or close to normal. I can't say I live as a normal person, I'll be honest. Well, these are safe places. You can use any kind of fursuit, from just a pair of ears to a full suit. A pair of ears comes a full suit in the shop. As a full suit, or even if you want, you can put two fursuits at the same time. Just don't die, please, on the process. And awesome, someone speak. Sorry, got distracted. As long as your fursuit complies with the house rules of the con, which are either on the website or on the con book itself, you can do whatever you want. Just like make sure your fursuit covers what it's supposed to cover and don't have any accessories that are not supposed to be public. Then go to the idea there do whatever is allowed to you. Okay, there's not much to say about the fursuit. We all know what they are, right? Yeah. Any questions though? If anyone wants to know any questions, because for all the cons, whatever? Yeah? Yeah? No? Yeah? Show you. So what else do we have? Airports. Oh, this is a fun one. It's a fun one because people always get concerned when I do this. So this I'm going to begin this slide with a question. Can you walk into an airport in Fursuit? It's a question, please answer. What do you think?
No.
Huh?
I wouldn't try it.
Okay. Over here? Any thoughts?
I wouldn't try it.
Oh, you want to try it? Back there? Any thoughts? No. Okay. Well, the question is a bit of, the answer is a bit of, well, I wouldn't try it is actually a good goal. I did it so you don't have to actually. Kind of depends. Like I have walked into my local airport here, airport Precisa, already in Fursuit, but on the arrivals gate, so it's a bit less concerning. Also because they kind of already know me. Like the Argentina tourist desk already has my card, and they know who I am at this point. Been too many times, right? To either travel or pick up people. But in a normal situation, no, you can't walk into an airport in Fursuit. You may go with your head under your arm and say, hello, yes. Do you check in, dispatch your luggage? If you can, ask a guard or like look at the guard and go, And that should be enough. They may tell you yes, they may tell you no. They may tell you, okay, if you are like me that go recording around, they may tell you you can, but you cannot record on, let's say, the immigration area or like customs or the duty free or in front of the stand that does express passports, which by the way are not the Furry passport, this take a bit of a long time. But you can do it. Oh.
There's a phrase in England, it's easier to say sorry than ask permission. So if you do walk in and, oh, sorry, didn't realise, just take it for a father, can I put this on?
Well, that's a bit of my experience in Heathrow Airport. In Heathrow Airport, it's just like, go to the plane, I'm like, and then someone stopped me. And nobody stopped me until it was actually an immigration. We're like, yeah, you usually can't record here normally, even less with this. Understandable, so I'm just removed it. To give you a reference of how many airports I've been to, this here you have, this is Buenos Aires, Santiago de Chile, Buenos Aires Airport, which is another airport, Edinburgh, I think this is Heathrow, that's Tokyo Haneda, and there should be one more, to give you a pic here, that is the Ushuaia Airport. I'm probably missing one more. Well, links to a few airports, probably. I was supposed to be in Barajas as well this week, but things happened, so we will skip that for next year. Any questions so far about airports? Any concerns? Come on, I know this is a controversial one. Yes?
Airports. How do you transport your fursuit pets on the planes? Do you just have like an extra carry-on?
Great question. Well, how you carry your fur head on the plane? There's different ways to do it. Usually, I try to avoid traveling in these, how do you call them? Cheap or discount airlines like EasyJet or Ryanair, because if you have anything bigger than this, you got charged £70, which is a bit of too much for carrying a pack of mints. So I usually go on like regular airlines that allow you like a suitcase this size and a backpack. And I usually go with one of, actually I have it here, one of these lovely Decathlon bags. You can also use a reusable shopping bag, or like or an IKEA bag, or something like one of those IKEA bags where you can carry a small friend. Well, and I just go with my full head under my arm, and if they tell me something, I make sure that my full head can either be squished on my back or be put in my hand luggage. I have also tried to put my forehead into a vacuum bag and into the cabin suitcase. That also works as well. You may dispatch. I also dispatch only the body. You may do this as well if you wish with the head. I usually don't dispatch the head because if you lose your suitcase on the trip, you will probably have a heart attack without the head. The body can be skipped, but the head is like the main thing. And well, here's a proper tip actually. If you do like me and go into the plane with your head on, which is going to be the next slide, or the other one, you can say that is your hat. I always say that my forehead is my hat or my pillow. And hats and pillows are allowed. Like I've seen people go with a literal bed pillow this size. So. And I had once I got into a plane and this Argentina Airlines pilot, there was this really old man that hated everyone. Was like, no, you cannot do this here. I'm like, chill. And he, and like, so what the guy literally didn't want him, he was like, you cannot use this here on the suit. I took it off. You cannot have it on your hand. I'm like, what? So I just took, I was already by the head off. I just went, I squeaked it. I laid a head on it and was like, it's a pillow. And the player then said, it's a pillow. And I was able to carry it with me. The tail, you can also say the same with the tail. Usually say this is a head and this is a pillow. So they don't say I have more than one of what is allowed. You may try. It depends a bit on the airline, the kind of ticket, if it's a discount airline or regular airline, and a bit of the mood of the crew, and especially the pilot. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes.
Okay. Any other thing? Yep. Oh, important. If you have any electronics in your fursuit, like a fursuit fan like they have inside mine, remember to remove the fan and the battery. If the electronics fursuits are not removable, do remove the battery every time. Otherwise, when it goes through the scanner, it's going to go big, and you'll have to like show them what it is and disconnect the battery. I mean, I don't care doing that, but if you can avoid it, better. I know some furries are very shy about security, seeing their fursuits. I mean, I understand. Just avoid doing that. Avoid leaving the battery and use it back. And do it. Good. Next slide we have. Oh, train terminal. This is a bit of an unexplained to the airport train. Of course, a train terminal is quite less strict than an airport. It's quite. I will say that it's quite different to be in a train terminal. Let's say a local train terminal than an international train terminal. Let's say King's Cross, King's Cross, St. Pancras, where the Eurostar lives, or La Gare du Nord in Paris, where the actor arrives, or some other international train station, than being, let's say, on Federico La Croce in Buenos Aires, which is just a random little train that makes 30 kilometers, or in Fort William Station from the Caledonian Express in Edinburgh. Literally, the only thing that ever happened to them was me appearing Fursuit there. I was like, hey, can I go into the platform? They were like, yeah, do whatever. Yeah, do whatever. You can't even get into the train, so. So yes, that's that. You should take pictures and fursuit around in a train station. First of all, type of fursuit, any you like. Just be mindful of your surroundings. Maybe some places are not great to be in full suit due to the lack of cleanliness of the station, like happens a lot on big train stations. And also be mindful of where the train goes to and comes from. Like I've been to some train stations where it's everything fine, like let's say King's Cross, or the Orange 24 Williams, and then you go to other places like like Congreso Retiro in Buenos Aires, where you, as a human, you're likely to leave the station without your phone, your wallet, and maybe your shoes. So don't go in fursuit there. Maybe you keep your hair, but nothing else. So you have to like have it here to keep decency. So the very important thing about fursuiting in a train station is that, well, you can go buy your tickets on the train station in fursuit, as long as it's not something that requires ID, like an international ticket or something paid like. But here you don't need to show your ID to be like, oh, where I am from, you do. That you can do, but you cannot take any pictures in fursuit or without fursuit that show the ticket office. I have encountered that in Argentina, in Chile, and in the UK actually. So that's like the only advice. Then also always check the train route when you go into the train after, like check where it goes. Like I usually come on a train in Buenos Aires that goes to a place called José Cepaz, which the show will see that the C of the name means cuchillo, which means knife in English. So don't go to a place with knife in the name in Fursuit, please. Any questions so far about train stations? Yeah? Anyone has a favorite train station here? No? Really?
In the UK, you generally avoid train stations or spend the least possible time in them. You spend enough time in there because of delays.
Fair enough.
Cancellations, yes.
Well, I'm going to make it up.
More leads than I need to.
I'll make a little note of that here. It always amuses me, all the shows you have about trains, and like the strikes of last year, and I'm here like, I used to arrive to the station and it's like, no, there's no trains here, there's never been. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's Argentina for you. Oh?
The Elizabeth lines have got, since they're brand new, they're in between areas where you walk through, they're very spacious and they're pretty much beautiful decor in them that really shines, I would say. They really put a lot of work into the Elizabeth line in between transits for people.
That's good.
And their trains are very unique as well. They don't have the interconnecting sections. it literally has like a seal between, and you literally walk from one end of the train to the other.
I gotta add those to my list to travel then. So if we get to the next one, thank you for your advice. Any other train thingy? Okay, we have finally planes. We're already waiting our way, now we go on a plane. But planes are these tin cans with wings that go and like cross the sea and take you from one place to the other without touching the ground more than twice. It's pretty interesting. Can you fursuit on a plane? Yes, you totally can. Depends a bit on the crew move, the crew. If you get these all pilot that is a bit angry with everyone, you may not be able to. You've probably all seen these pictures from the US conventions where they are returning fursuit in a plane. You can do that. I usually, when I have to take a plane, I have to do a 12-hour flight, so I wouldn't try it. I mean, you can try. I wouldn't advise. But well, my recommendation is if you have when you have me fursuit, I have a DCT grade 1, as I have mentioned before. It's I like 13 UK size of shoes. So my feet and legs are so big in fursuit that I can actually. I tried on a. They say I don't know exactly the word for it, like a stock plane. Like they have a plane on the ground that was for people to go in and check how the new planes were, and I know for a fact that I don't fit in a fursuit. So be mindful of that. Usually economy seats are a bit smaller, unless you travel in business class. Don't go in fursuit on the plane because you won't fit and you will melt. Then, as for head and tail, as I mentioned before, you can place it on your handbag, put it on your bag and carry it on your arm. Best trick of this is try to get into the plane as one of the first and just throw it on the face out top. And well, say you pillow your hat or whatever, and someone will trust you. Yeah.
When you're taking the heads to the plane, is it counted as a hand luggage, or do you have to pay extra because you have a hand luggage, or how basically it works, or do you wear it, but it's not hand luggage anymore?
Well, I actually made some mentions of that before. I try to avoid discount or cheap airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet because usually you will have to pay extra to carry your full head. On other like big airlines, let's say British Airways, Japan Airlines, KLM, Aerolíneas Argentinas, not sponsored any of them. You can either I usually go with the fursuit on, like trying to act like it's not a separate thing. If not, I just carry it in one of these Decathlon or IKEA bags. You should like throw it into like usually what I do is like put it back in my pocket, put the fursuit on, and it's technically a hat. I think that the head is a hat, or if you don't have a head, that is a pillow. Tail is a pillow as well. You're allowed to take that as not an extra luggage. And just in case, I will try to make sure that I can squish my head either into my backpack or the hand luggage. Sorry, the carry luggage. There's a few advices. But yes, usually I just carry it in a bag and try to get one of the furs into the plane so I can just throw it on the space on top or on the space under the seat. I hope I have answered. Yes? Yeah. Any other questions regarding planes? Any other questions in general regarding planes? Anyone? Anyone here haven't been on a plane?
I do have a tip with the planes with full bodysuits in the bag, secondary luggage. If you shove enough fragile tape on them, they usually are very careful with them while putting it into the plane and taking it out of the plane.
That also attracts people to open your look. So.
Yeah, I don't want to damage this because it's got fragile tape over it. I'm not going to get in trouble. So it's usually a trick to make sure your fursuits are more perfectly safe in transit.
It's a good idea, although it depends from where are you traveling though.
I travelled to the US, I did, back in 2016 to 2019 to go to Birmingham. And I took my Pegasus fursuit every year, and I literally put a tag with fragile and some other bits saying fragile, and made sure to tell them it's fragile, and it got there in one piece without any damage to the bag or any of the material inside.
That's actually a great idea.
It's what I did and found out it worked, because even the people at British Airways stated it as well. If you put a lot of fragile tape or tags on it, they will be very, very careful with the baggage, because they don't want to damage the content in it and get in trouble.
My only advice on top of this is that be mindful to where you're traveling to. I'm pretty sure if you put a tag when coming to South America, that's going to be ignored. Or maybe even kicked out a bit extra just in case.
Yeah.
I usually don't say anything, just carry the head with me to make sure that the most important head, paws, and maybe tail with me. And the body, well, if we can avoid losing our luggage, that's better.
Yeah.
I had lost a part of my suit actually before. British Airways, Scotland to London, Edinburgh to London. They made me dispatch on the last second my handbag, and they lost my tail and paws.
Oh.
And the bag appeared a week later, not in Heathrow, but in which is this airport that nobody wants to go to? No, the other, Luton.
Luton.
My bag appeared back in Luton, and I was like, boy.
I know one time with Virgin Airlines, I had my pretty much. I got to because I had one stop to New York from Baltimore, and I arrived just before the second of the three flights that were out apart from each other, and my luggage ended up on the final flight, so I had to wait for a whole hour for my all my luggage to arrive.
At least it was only 1 hour.
Yeah.
No, I had to wait. I was staying on Paulus for a week.
I was panicking at first when I got out there. I was like, "Where's my luggage?" And they said, that's because you just barely arrived in time for check-in, and we couldn't fit in the plane in time, so we put it in the final plane that's arriving in an hour, and we'll make sure you be comfortable and wait for your final luggage to arrive.
Well, so a important advice: if you actually take the head with you on the plane, if they try to make you dispatch your luggage, do everything possible to dispatch everything but the head. Because usually with the hand luggage, you just like, if there's too much, they will leave it on the on the thing where the planes leave. The ramp.
Tarmac.
What?
Tarmac.
Huh?
Tarmac.
Tarmac. Thank you. Well, that's the planes we have. Oh, by the way, random thing. British Airways crew. Argentina and Netherlands crew there. Some crews are really happy about this, and they just take pictures with you. And people are really weird on the plane with the fox. Like, they never saw a fox before. It's actually like, hello, never saw a fox before. Now we have, important thing for airports. Yes, you need to, on a plane, you will need your documentation to travel, of course. So be mindful to carry always all your documents with you, so you can make sure to tell them that you are a citizen and not a pet. Like, I told story, I arrived to the Santiago de Chile airport, and I did all the things imposed after immigration, and when I'm arriving to the final security checkpoint, I'm in Fursuit, and all the guards were, this was shortly after the pandemic, so the airport had 10 people in the full plane, but empty. Imagine a Heathrow airport size place, like one hotel, no? With 10 people, only 10 passengers. So that's the scale of the thing. So all the girls are like, boring. And suddenly I feel like, you cannot have unattended pets on the airport. I'm like, no, I'm a citizen. And they totally lost it. They just go ahead and hold their lap. They should, go ahead, okay, just go in for the scanner, please. I'm probably out of the Instagram of the Chilean gendarmerie or something, crossing the checkpoint. So yes, always carry your full documentation to make sure to show everyone that you're a citizen and not a pet. Also remember that conditions are open if you need more fun. By the way, of course, remember that these are toys. These are toys, they are not meant to travel for real with this. If you go to security, to the immigration, do not show this place. I tried the stupidity not to cross, but I went with my actual passport. I had a full head under my. The person from customs saw me arriving in Fursuit. I removed it. I had it under my arm, and I get the stamp on the button and go, hey, is it possible to get one and also on this toy one? He looks at it, he's like, it's really funny, but it's not really allowed to stamp an official stamp on something that is an avion passport, which makes total sense. So I tried that, so you don't have to. Some people that commission some of these IDs ask me they can show it on the airport as well, and like, you don't have a Fursuit, so I wouldn't advise. But if you do, try to do it after showing your real ID. Always, if you want to show this, show it after the real one to avoid any issues, especially on airport. Well, don't do it on airport at all. Usually these things, I have some here, but I usually show hotels and things like that, so collect those and not real ones. What else do we have? Oh, boats and ferries. Remember, boats are boats, and ferries are the boats that are open, not furries corrected by the autocorrect. Well, we have different boats and ferries. There's urban ones, there's short trip ones, and there's these touristic ones that go through big bodies of waters just to go. For example, here this is the London River Bus. If anyone here has been in London or is from London, probably knows it. There you go. It's like, if you're a tourist ever in London, it's like the best thing you can do because all the bus tours cost £30 and this was 5. Or there you have my travel advice for the day. On the River Bus of London, for example, it's really chill. They didn't care at all that it was in Fursuit. It's like, you pay your ticket, go do whatever you want. So be happy. There's actually both parts from London Fursuit. I'm pretty sure it's not a River Bus that, but I'm pretty sure furries from London Fursuit go to the meeting that as well. So you can go in any Fursuit you like. It's always going to be fine. Then you have here, this is another passenger ferry called the Buquebus. This crosses from Buenos Aires to Uruguay. I have done that one so many times already that I lost counting Fursuit. I haven't done it in Fursuit pretty much because I usually don't go in Fursuit to Uruguay. But you can just walk in. Like, immigration is like an hour before you actually get into the ship. So I always get in Fursuit into the thing, revolving or not, just going around. Nobody's really concerned. People find it fun. Like, it's a really boring trip with no phone signal, so it's actually good for everyone that you do that. The only thing I recommend is that you don't go to the outer deck if the climate is, if the, how do you call it, if the water is a bit choppy, so it doesn't work, yeah.
Chance of being splashed on your Fursuit.
Or falling.
Yeah.
Which takes us to the other type of ferries we have. Like, here we have an example. This is in Loch Ness in Scotland. And this is in the Beagle Channel in Tierra del Fuego. This is outside, it's the most southern sea in the world for reference. This is like pretty close to Antarctica. And well, this is YOLO where Loch Ness is. I don't have to explain that part. This picture is funny because this is a frame of a video where I almost fell into the loch. Like, it's really pretty. It's a really fun thing to do with ferry. Let's find Nessie thing. But the ferry goes pretty quick in a pretty windy place for a body of water that is windy as well. Yes, water is windy, it's not fun. Anyhow, this picture is taken with my phone in a tripod that is literally taped with this duct tape thing to a pole, otherwise it will fall. You can actually see my head, it's like this. In the picture, and the problem is that every single ferry and boat that I've been to has this dwelling, that are like pipes, so around. What happens if you hold with plush power parts into a round pole? You rip, which you don't have actually, you like any kind of freak, and go whoop. Yeah, that's what happened there. The wind blew me back. My hands slip like twice and I almost fall. Also because it's not very tall actually. Same thing actually happened here in Tierra del Fuego, so I advise to be careful. Now, if we talk about type of Fursuit on these kind of ferries that go through big bodies of water, I do not advise to go in a Fursuit for multiple reasons. Aside from the obvious of getting probably wet, like for example, here it's a very cold place. With the wind and the water, it gets even colder, like probably under 1 degree here, Celsius, of course. Which I think is not exactly cold for some people here, but trust me, it's really cold at some point. The problem is that all these fluffy things look really warm when we use it here. You're in full system roof can probably tell that is really warm. But when you're writing well, when you're writing, when you're on a ship and you have the wind going right against you, like wind that is under 2 degrees, you will get cold. Like right against the wind, this becomes like being naked. You have nothing stopping the wind because this is like a mesh inside the pool. So you're going to freeze the pool. I try it. Don't do it. You're going to be like on your regular Under Armour that is actually meant to keep you cool, not warm, being hit by cold or snowy wind. Don't do that. It's not advisable.
It's nice for a second.
Sorry?
It's nice only for a second.
Exactly. The first second you're like, probably fresh. bring your jacket. So here I am actually with regular winter clothes. And also very important, don't do this on, never go in these ferries, this kind of ferries with fit tabs. Fit tabs also like grip, not like proper grip. Like here I was with snow boots, so wet floor, cold floor, frozen floor at times. You're going to whoop, and it's a bad idea. So that's like the general advice for this. Especially try not to fall here actually like like this because otherwise the picture couldn't have been taken. On the other ferries, like the urban ones, are the ones that cruise just peaceful bodies of water, and you have like an inside place to be without freezing. There you can use whatever fursuit you like.
In London, every year during summer, they always have the
boat party.
First boat party, followed up by the meet the following day.
Yes, that one is the urban ferry, but yes, it goes through the same lines. Yes, you can do any fursuit, just don't jump into the water, please. Also very important, if you fall in water with fursuit, you're going to just come as down. Go bloop. Sorry?
I know of it, but I keep getting invited, but I can never go to it because it's always in work hours.
Oh, I keep getting invited, but it only happens to be 11,000 kilometers away. I waited for a long trip. I did have a long return from a London Fursuit, a 20 hours return, because I went straight from the meet to Argentina. No stops. Man, underground taxi, Heathrow Metro, the plane, another taxi, and another thing more to get home. So, yeah, I get what it is a long run. Any questions about boats and ferries so far? Ferries, not furries. Any questions about?
Well, it's not a question, but
yes.
There's a few conventions, sort of. We had the chance to go to one in Vancouver, in Canada,
yes.
Which is the entire convention is just on a boat. It was called Furries on a boat. That
like
was
a cruise, yeah?
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like a cruise?
We went to one. I think it was almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, there was one definitely 2 years ago because it was known as Furries on Ferries.
Yeah.
There was an ocean liner for 2 weeks.
Nice.
I think for a week. It was an ocean liner for a week, and it was literally just ferries going. It was like a few £1,000 or something like that.
Nice. The one we went to was only a single day. It was just during the evening. They went out to Vancouver Bay on this boat.
More like a meet than a
This one I saw was for a whole week.
Nice. That's something.
I mean, there's probably some rules for the like this. If it's like a local cruise, they probably have like spaces where you cannot fall on the ship, and they probably have like people making sure that no drunken fursuiter goes like whoop. So, any other stories or questions, or shall we proceed? Raising your hand or just scratching your pocket? Sorry, don't worry, it's just bothering people. Oh, Rituals and Alchemy. This is another fun one to do in Fursuit. Well, Rituals and Alchemy, I know this is not for everyone. You also need some knowledge. Trust me, you don't want to do neither Rituals and Alchemy without knowing what you're doing. That's why I actually am here with Buster, which actually teach me what I'm doing. You can do this with Fursuit, just be mindful that a wrong spell or a wrong pentagram or, well, ritual itself can either make your Fursuit come to life, which it may be the fantasy of many, but when you realize you're inside, it may become a problem. It's probably the fantasy of many, but we're not going to get into that topic here. And well, try to never make mindful with your paws and your tail. You don't want to like get light on fire with the candles or erase the salt pentagram or get fluff into the nature and get the witch angry. Imagine if the witch gets angry and makes you become a human. Oof. I wouldn't want that. Well, on the actual note of this slide, it's for photography. Photography is something that I'm pretty sure every fursuiter on furry has ever done at some point. It's something really fun to do. You just have to like be careful exactly what are you doing with the photography. Like for example, this example here of the pentagram, this was for October 2022, I think. Well, yes, these are alpha candles lit on photodiscs for reasons. This has a degree of danger, clearly, because you may know, well, I'm going to quote this phrase from a very wise furry from a very far away land, which is probably close to familiar to you. That's a Furry Safety 101, we born easy. Pretty much all these synthetic fur, which looks very beautiful, and it's super flammable. If you get on fire in a fursuit, you're a goner. Don't. To make these kind of pictures, we set up all the scenes first. I put in place, we set the thing like there's not a camera behind me for safety, also because it's over the camera, and I had to select stone. Still, ensemble would come, light all the lights on, and there turn them all off. Pretty much we did it. We don't want them again, but you know. Here I shout to my friend Dynamo Randomix who did all this stuff and kept me safe and alive, and also the pictures. On the pictures as well, we had some care with the candles, and also make sure I didn't make the witch laugh every time which went off. I can put it easy. On this one here, there's not much of that to do, more like don't stick your first paw into the pot with dry eyes. Nothing's going to happen, it's just going to wet your hand. And for the most, be careful with pictures, where you take them, and what the props and things you use to don't get either damaged or hurt. A few advice that I don't have an example here, I should have put it, is about lighting. On lighting, here in the UK you have something actually quite good for fursuit pictures outside. When it's usually cloudy, the sky is grey, but it's not dark gray and it's not raining, you will probably notice that the clouds become like a diffuser screen for the light. So you have like a constant plain white light everywhere. Which is not great for pictures, make these kind of colors look really bright. While if you do a picture in the sun, it's going to look really dark. If you have a, not dark but opaque. If you have a black fursuit, for example, it's actually quite better to take a picture with this kind of light you usually have here in England than on a sunny day. On a sunny day, a black fursuit will look like a stain. So here's your photography advice. Fursuit is photography, anything you want. Just if you go for the non-simple workout, just mind to who you show them to. What else? Oh, mountains and hills. Do you know what a mountain is? Good. Do you know what a hill is? Have you ever run up that hill? Running up that hill. Well, we have many mountains and hills here, and many silly things I have done. Here we have Scottish Highlands, Chilean side of the Atlas mountain range, and somewhere with a snow fox, and the Martial mountain in Terrible Furro. First of all of the advices for mountains and things, I saw many pictures and videos of fursuiters going like in full suit, or doing like snowboard and ski, yes, ski about that in Fursuit. I mean, if you like, go for it. That's great. Just just remember that the people that usually do that, like, are quite knowledge on how to do the sport normally. So don't do that if you never went skiing or snowboarding or this. You want to like break a leg or something.
The
I think
snow
Fursuit.
gonna stick to a fur.
Sorry?
And the
Snow gonna
snow
stick to
powder
the
will
fur.
stick to you
Yeah.
as well.
Well, I get to the part of the snow and the fursuit. Remember that again, a fursuit looks really cozy and warm until we are in a very cold place. And you remember that snow gets stuck to fur, really stuck. And then you're warm, so it melts, and you became all wet. And it's cold because it's snowing, so you just have to freeze. So, fursuit, the problem with fursuit is like, it's not, I don't advise it mostly for that. If you don't care about that, or if you're using like, I don't know, a neoprene suit under your fursuit to survive the cold, but then you die of overheating, go for it. I'm not going to stop you, you're an adult, I hope. But yes, it's not, I personally don't advise so. Also, remember that if you want to go with more than just a mini Porsche like I do, make sure on how do you get to the mountains. Like for example here, for this picture I'm jumping in the snow, I was taking a bus up the mountain, so I could have gone in full if I wanted. For this picture I had to walk up the mountain 2 hours, so it's not recommended in Fursuit. So I'm usually going in Fursuit if you go to somewhere there's either a cable car or a car that takes you there. Also very important. Some of you may have noticed that there are Fursuits that are easier to breathe than others, and there's people that of course have some breathing difficulties, so Fursuits are a bit of a problem. Remember that the higher you go, the less oxygen there is. What does this mean? On this lovely picture, does anyone, I know it's a bit cheating because I'm going to be talking metric, but does anyone have any clue how high I'm there on that picture?
Probably looking somewhere around somewhere along the 12,000 foot mark, I'm guessing.
One moment, let me translate that to metric.
Divided by 3.
What?
So 4,000.
4,000 meters, you say?
About 4,000.
2,000? Well, you're getting closer.
Yeah, because I know there's a bunch of them. There's a blue and white avian in Europe that takes a bunch of fursuiters to a mountain for skiing every year.
Well, we do something like that. What we used to do, actually, what the person that organized this meet was Habanero, which was in the memorial picture. We used to do that in Chile. We went to the Andes mountain range, but we went to 2,900 meters tall.
I was only 900 meters short.
Well, guys, do that because, chicos, estoy que no castellano. Me googlean 2,900 metros a patas.
Columpias. Creo que son como 10.
One second, we're giving you the conversion here.
That's 9,500 feet.
9.5.
Yeah.
Well, there you have the thing.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Usually, they are recommended to like bring chocolate and lick on it to keep you sugar off, and bring pills for the height, which I took because when you get off the bus, you're like totally fine. So I was like, oh, this is like being at home. Then when you put your fursuit on, walk 3 steps, literally 3 steps, and you go, oh. No, for real, like all the fursuiters did the same. We rushed off the bus, we put on the heads and we were running up the hill, and suddenly we all stopped and fell on the snow.
Not thinking about the oxygen deprivation of the height.
Pretty much, you don't realize of that usually unless you're running a lot without the suit. But when you put the suit and the only air intakes are the mouth and the eyes, or the only intake is the mouth and the eyes are the outtake, then you realize that's not the over here we could only put the fursuit for the pictures or to do what we call the backsliding. But that's all. We couldn't do the typical run around or do a snow fight because no one could actually run much more than 3 steps in fursuit. We are fursuit more or less. So keep that in mind. Also, like pictures like this, be very careful because here I'm right in front of a cliff. I was able to not fall. Yeah, exactly that. If you take a picture in front of a cliff, be careful. At least here there wasn't a lack of oxygen, so I was totally conscious. Here not so much. So yes, be careful not to fall off the mountain because it's going to be a long fall. I have rolled down a mountain before in Fursuit because I was too tired to actually walk down, so I was just let's roll down and hope we survive. But be careful with that. Any questions about mountains? Any? No? Good? Did I just cover everything about mountains? Geography questions? About geology? Yeah? How is snow composed in South America, maybe? What is the portion of flat left in the Martian mountain in Tierra del Fuego? No? Nothing?
I do know that different environments there's different type of snow. Some snow is more like powdery there, so it doesn't stick as much to fur. While in other areas it claps onto like a rock, like glue.
Yes, it depends a bit also on the climate as well. The climate all the time when it's snowing. For example, when I went to here, the Martian mountain went twice. I went after a day after it snowed, so the sun came out, so the sun was bad. It didn't stick, like you say. And yes, then I got caught by a snowstorm, and the fresh snow sticks a lot. Actually, here we have another funny example. Let's see if we manage to play it. Where's my cursor? There we are. I mean, no, I think we just crashed.
I say no.
Well, we tried. This totally. What? There we go. Please. This is me in the middle of a snowstorm in Tierra del Fuego. You can see how the snow sticks to my fur, my nose, everything. This is fresh air. The audio is totally incomprehensible because there's no way to actually hear what I'm saying, but pretty much is that the snow sticks to everything. I literally became a snow fox, and this is literally the end of the world. I go to.
Sorry, just whispering events. You've everyone's like, I have to give you about 5 minutes, then we'll need you guys out.
Oh yes, but yeah.
I'm sorry, that is I'll give you a few extra minutes, but yeah, I have to be
okay.
About 5 minutes. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, 5 minutes, so we're going to put down this. Okay, 5 minutes. We're going to go down a few stuff then. Well, other places, we have other places. I had gone to balls in Fursuit. I did that in Argentina, which is kind of a tradition to go dressed up as a Fursuit to do that, but I think that that's free to do so. There is all of them calling me. I did it a few times. This is Confucius, this is a word. Cycling in Montevideo, skate questions, ice skating, horses. And Tarvis, Ginstros and Prentice Thingy. Harry Potter. What to do and what not to do in Fursuit? Well, do this. Don't do that. No, don't do that. You don't copy. No, well, what to do and what not to do in Fursuit? Always remember, especially in public spaces, there's a lot of people that maybe know us, maybe don't know us, try to give always a good impression of what we are. Then if you're some kind of weirdo, be a weirdo at home at the convention, but try to give us a good impression the way, please. Have fun, of course. Take pictures, look around, and give many hugs. Always asking first.
I was curious because I was thinking about because MCM Furcon I'm going to go by public transport. I was thinking about wearing my fursuit from home to there, but I wasn't too sure if it would be advisable because I'll be travelling by bus to train and then.
You can try, but you probably will a bit sweaty. That depends on the climate and well, what road does it go?
October.
What?
It'll be in October.
October here is cold.
Pretty much, I'm going to MCM Furcon in London.
No, well, you can give it a try. Worst case, you just have to bring an extra underarm. Oh, remember, please always shower and wash your fursuit before going into any event.
There's a no-go for me, because I've got a stack of wings attached to my fursuit.
Oh, sorry, I have to stop you. We have short time. Well, also remember to protect both yours and others' integrity. Like all these things that don't remove your fursuit because blah 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 ruin the magic. That is a stupid rule invented by Disney for their performers. If you're feeling that you feel warm, you have a headache, you're having a heat stroke, remove your suit, drink water, breathe, and also remember, if emergency services have to take you off your suit, they're going to put your freak out and pantsuit with a scissor. So, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your suit. Oh, introductions to Human 101. Well, this is going to be what the humans are. Humans are, well, the descendants of our primate furries. The Homo sapiens sapiens, known as humans or humans as per the English dictionary of furry language. Humans are usually fluffy. They are not fluffy, or like us furries, or fluffy. And they have a very large population across the earth compared to the furries. You probably know some humans, and you may probably even have them at home. Well, here's the difference. They're always curious on what we are doing and very confused. Here you have the example of a human taking a picture of a furry, in pure confusion. He will ask you what we are doing, what we're about, take us pictures, ask us questions, and maybe ask a very common adult humans will ask you to take pictures with their children because they actually want them, but they are not brave enough to ask for themselves. If you ask for a picture with their children, well, hey, never take them out because we have no grip, we cannot see. Children and pets can stay with us, they will fall for you out. Never do that, please. But unexpected places and things, when you first around the world, you will appear in random places. Here's a reel that went for free campus because someone saw me fursuiting around alone on a 40-degree day. Well, you probably remember what place it was. I saw it in the middle of a manifestation in Scotland. This is a resume of other things that happened in Uruguay in a year, and I appeared there. I'm not Uruguayan, and none of Uruguayan furs are there. Random singer that asked me for the picture when I was an Argentina Museum of Robotics. And I think, well, for this and Fursuiting in public, that many people believe that, many furries think that everyone believes that furries are like the worst of the earth. Most people have no clue of what we actually are. They think we're just random performers or kids entertainment, so you can, or people think that, oh, I'm going to go in the first that someone will stop me. That's not going to happen. The last person someone will actually go to fight is the person in the fluorescent animal costume. That way, this kind of keeps you safe because you're too visible if something happens. Is it safe to public around, to push in public? It's perfectly safe as long as you don't go into like a dark alley at night or like play in the middle of an avion. Questions? Do we have time for one question at least?
If you would like to carry on with some questions, that's great.
Okay.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to start stealing your equipment.
What?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to start stealing the equipment.
We've got people waiting to also come and use this, so...
Okay, that's a problem.
So, very sorry. But feel free to carry on talking. I just need the gear for another room.
That's okay. Well, anyone has any questions for the closure?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Sorry for the rush.
Apologies.
No problem.
That's today.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's a first one. Do you have any cat?
What?
Do you have any cat?
Oh, yes. My cat, what's your thing? So I'm going to tell the story very fast. My poor cat, after 8 years of use, started to get the fur too bad. I tried to refer it on the last week before coming here.
I can see it's different.
Yes. I had to refer it, and when I removed the fur, all the foam inside deintegrated. So I have to rebuild all the fursuit from scratch in like 1 week.
Yep.
Yeah, next year we're going to have a new head that's properly made. This one is a bit of a specialty fur.
Yes, it's good.
Well, Thank you everyone for coming. Thanks to those that are watching the streaming or will watch it in YouTube.